Tom Brady said yesterday that he's going to take the year off.
Yeah.
Do you think he does TV?
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that he's going to. I mean, I will say that I think if he does do TV, he's going to. I think he'll go all in and try to be really good at it. I'm not convinced that he does it, just because I do think that. I hate to say it's beneath him, but doesn't it sort of feel like. Can you guys see him like standing in the buffet line with the rest of us at halftime?
Waiting in line to take a pee? Yeah. Does anybody got kale? Can I get some kale around here? Some avocados?
Like it really wasn't. It was never hard for me to wrap my head around the idea of Tony Romo doing that, right? It's not even hard to like wrap your head around the idea of Troy doing that. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the idea of Tom Brady standing in that line, waiting for a hot dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do think like
you got to look at the Mannings and what they're doing, or you have to look larger than that. Like Elway got into ownership.
Yeah.
It feels like Tom is more of the guy who greets you in his suite, and he's the owner, or part of an ownership group.
I mean, like, is it Magic Johnson? Is that his future? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like to satisfy his competitive like that, because I think that's what I think one of the big reasons, one of the things that most people miss about him, I think one of the things that kind of kept him going was the fear of losing that outlet, the competitive outlet, because he is such a maniac when it comes to competition. And like, I don't think it was ever searching for a fairy tale ending or getting back at people in New England and proving people. I think for him, it was like an addiction almost to competition. And I do think like going and being part of an ownership group and getting into team building might satisfy that to a degree. Would television satisfy that?
If he goes to the games,
right,
then you prepare for both teams. You're preparing for both defenses. And that, I think, would get those competitive juices flowing.
Yeah.
It's what Drew Brees missed out on.
Right.
He was in the studio. And there's no magic in the studio. You got to create magic. The game creates magic, and therefore you go out there, then you feed off that excitement.
Right.
And therefore I think that would work with Brady. But I'm just shocked that he's not doing anything for Fox this week. And I thought send a camera crew to Tampa and just say, Tom, I want you to prepare for both of these defenses.
Right.
And I want you to talk about both of these quarterbacks. So I got, him in the film room breaking things down. Doesn't have to be out here. Doesn't have to be on the set.
Right.
But you can kind of bring him into the Fox family.
And it'd be a great dry run for him to see what it's like. You know what I mean? Like it's relatively, it's not heavy lifting.
And you get a couple of takes. You're going to make sure he looks great. You could stop it and say, all right, let's try it again.
Yeah.
You're not live TV. Nobody's going to be judging you. We talked about this before. It still feels like if you wanted somebody to be themselves, because you always hear, hey, just be yourself. Troy Aikman said to Tom, his advice, hey, just be yourself. The one guy who could be himself as an analyst, who's not employed as an analyst, is who?
Who could? Jay Cutler.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think Cutler, like...
he doesn't care, right?
I honestly thought, I felt this way all along. Like, I think Cutler, like, he had the deal to do it, right? Like, he had the deal with Fox, and then Tannehill tears up his knee, and Adam Gase gets him to come to Miami for $10 million. I think Jay Cutler would have been the guy who is A, he's intelligent, and B, he doesn't give a crap what anyone thinks. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he's not looking, he wouldn't be in the booth looking down like, oh, well, I got beers with the right guard out there like 3 weeks ago, so I can't say anything. But no, like, he wouldn't care, So, I think Cutler would have been really good
I just think it'd be hard because Tom spent his entire life not criticizing or saying anything.
Right.
And now you're going to say, Tom, be yourself. Go out there and critique.
Yeah.
Be honest. I just don't see, him wanting to do that.
And I just don't know where. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I also like sort of look at him and how many different ways is he compromised? You know what I mean? Like, with everything, because he's been so image conscious for his entire NFL career, and part of it is like. I think he looks at like, okay, like I'm invested with this person, and he's incredibly loyal. Is he compromised? You know what I mean? Like where it's just he can criticize this person, but then I can't criticize that, and that can be really, really tricky.